EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to the banks of the Ohio River and Paycor Stadium in the Queen City of Cincinnati. And tonight on this fine Thursday night, we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Just about set for a start. Happy to have you with us, and we are underway here on Thursday Night Primetime. He takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. Here come the Bengals now to take over. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, a former Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year from the University of Washington. It's Jake Browning.
Every quarterback in the NFL has a little bit of his own signature style out there, but for this guy, he really plays the game in a different way. It's led to a couple double takes from us up here as we see him as something truly unique. It's not that he's just the strongest passer or the best athlete to ever play the position. He just has a certain way of seeing the action, and it allows him to make some special plays out there.
2nd and 10. To throw, Browning. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. And oh, that nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way he wanted to start this ball game as it brings up 4th down.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
Almost certainly a future Hall of Famer, and he's still seeking the storybook ending to his career. But he had patience, looked around, took his time before choosing his team, and boy, are they glad that he did, because he still has a lot of juice left despite being 41 years old. Finishing the top 10 in passing yards last season with nearly 4,000 yards and touchdowns as well with 28.
Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8. Here's Rodgers to throw. He's got him in, complete. And he is finally forced out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 44 yards. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 27th. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now it's Rodgers. He finds Austin complete. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Now run straight ahead with Warren. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. Now Rodgers. Setting up the screen with Gainwell. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down, score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score. But he also told them how it was going to happen. They're going to run this. We're going to stop it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And that makes the score 7-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Defensively, they were in the 3-4, and that O-line just dominated the D-line there.
Let's go with a verbal telestrator here because that D-line has a nose over the center, and it has a 2 defensive ends over the offensive tackles. That means the guards don't have anyone over the top of them. That creates a natural bubble inside where they sprint upfield, take on the inside linebackers, and if the back hits it fast enough, there should be space to run.
Now Browning. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Rodgers. And he can't quite bring it in. Might have heard footsteps there across the middle. Second down. Throwing now is Rodgers. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after the last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on third down to get their momentum going again.
From the gun on third down, Rodgers. And that's incomplete.
Partner, we've got ourselves a ball game, and those guys on defense, they came to play. Slipped up on their first series, but they're definitely settling in now and letting it be known that points won't come so easy again.
The Waitman now to punt as he sends this one away. Jones on the return. It'll be a 39-yard punt, give him a good 10 yards on the return. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard to the 27. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here's Browning. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. They're backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Rodgers going to throw. Yeah, that will be incomplete.
I'll tell you what, these last couple of drives, much better from a defensive perspective. They gave up a touchdown on the opening drive, and then after forcing a punt on their last possession, it looks like they're going to get the football back again.
On 4th down, Corliss Waitman on to punt. On the return is Jones. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. Cincinnati set to take over once again. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Throwing to start the drive. Browning. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. Offensively, might be thinking, what's going on here? 1 for their first 7 throwing the football.
So maybe they're thinking about rethinking their strategy a little bit right now with the way that they're throwing it around, not having that success. Might have to lean on the running game for a little while and see if they can get him back in form.
On the throw, let him too much that time. It's incomplete.
A lot of incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. It certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Browning. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
So on 4th down, out is Ryan Rico to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. On the return, Austin. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they'll take over here following the interception with a chance to tie the ball game. It's 1st and 10. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Throwing to start the drive. Browning. Looking left side and he's got a man. That's Brown. And he'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Give him 17 at a Cincinnati first down.
First and 10 at the 16-yard line.
They'll give this up the middle to Brown. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Back to throw. Browning. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Oh, they were so close. That close to their first points of the game. Just needed to hang on just a second longer, but he couldn't complete the process of the catch through the jostling from the defender.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd down and 12. Operating from the gun. Browning. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
So on 4th down, on is Evan McPherson and the Bengal field goal unit. From the left hash, this from 34. McPherson's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Steelers ready to take over on offense. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Here's 2nd and 10. On the give, it's Warren. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down, then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Throwing is Rodgers. And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up 4th.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And after the field goal last time, see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive in with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Looking to throw. Browner. He's got his target. That's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. They go right back to the ground here in Brown. They're able to elude one tackler, but only gets this back to the line of scrimmage.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. This is caught. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
First down and goal to go.
Brown. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They'll try and run it in with Brown. And this time he is in. Chase Brown. A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Bengals have taken the lead.
Well, he's been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Evan McPherson now for the PAT. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it ends with a Bengals score. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. Second down and 6 now. To throw, it's Rodgers. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him to first. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw is Rodgers. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down. Now Rodgers. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Bengals grab it. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that sixth sense, doesn't it?
He really does, and I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand this is the amount you have, make sure the ball's gone. Didn't happen in this case.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Really held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
2nd and 7. Back to throw. Browning. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
McPherson's kick is good. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So the fumble recovery had them set up at ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. So halftime is upon us on Thursday night primetime, and we go off to Orlando and Scott Hansen for our halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you for a quick halftime report. We'll let both sides catch their breath and get their orange wedges as we're going to get ready for the third quarter action. So let's go back out to the stadium as we rejoin our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Scott, we thank you as always, and we'll see what happens here in the second half. Both teams trying to find the right formula to come out with the victory. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Steeler offense now with the football first here to begin the third quarter.
So out of the locker rooms here they come. Their first drive of the third quarter. And Charles, they're trailing in this ball game, but we got a tight one set up to be a very entertaining second half.
And as we know, partner, in the NFL, there's trailing and there's trailing, right? Sometimes you're discouraged by how much you're down, but in this case, this is a tight ball game, so there's a sense of optimism here. I think they went in at the half and looked at their play sheet and said, these are the plays we really like. What do you say we use them to start the second half and get us going?
Rodgers now to throw. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Trey Hendrickson, his second sack of the night. And keep in mind, in addition to the 2 sacks that he now has, CD, he's also had a couple of quarterback hurries. He's been very disruptive.
To put it mildly, and it reminds me of the time I asked an offensive tackle who struggled like this in a game. He said he was telling the coach, hey, what do you want me to do? This guy's just eating me alive. And the coach finally just looked at him and said, applaud.
Throwing on second and long. Rodgers. Throw out wide, going to be incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Out route, and he connects with Freiermuth. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Here's Jones on the return. A 40-yard punt, given 3 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. An inside give, Brown. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
3rd and 9 here.
Operating from the gun, Browning.
Throw left side complete to Chase.
And he is going to have the Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Operating from the gun, Browner. Got him in, it's Brown. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. So the pitch and catch good for 11. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard. This is Brown going up the middle. And not only will he not get the few inches he needs, he's going to go backwards. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here.
And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
Here's Rodgers. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there, their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Rodgers. A throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Jones. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
4th quarter coming up here on Thursday Night Primetime. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals in possession of the football and in possession of the lead as well as we start the 4th. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Handing it off to Brown. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. That's called Andre Yoshivas. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 24-yard line.
And the Bengals, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
Here's a give to Brown. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
From the 24 now, here's a 2nd down and 9. Draw play for Brown. Well, get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Now, the Bengals on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 5. Looking to throw. Browner. It's complete to Brown, right side. And the Bengals are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And sometimes when you run a screen pass down in the red zone, it's really tough to create a lot of room to operate. The field's pretty condensed, but that was really well designed there, and they're able to pick up a 1st down.
A first carry for Samaje Perine.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. 2nd, 3rd guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's 3rd and goal.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside. Now that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to make it a 2-score game. McPherson's kick is good. And now it's a 2-score game at 9, 16-7. So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow get the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly. Looking to put a drive together. Here's Rodgers throwing to start the drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Time becoming a factor, down 2 scores, though they have 2 timeouts and, of course, the 2-minute warning to work with as well.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Operating from the gun, Rodgers. The towels are waving. Steeler fans on their feet. It's 3rd down. back to throw again. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. Here we go. This is fourth down. Now Rodgers got to have this one. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. A 2 timeouts still remaining, but scoring quickly, a must. It's 1st and 10. To throw is Rodgers. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Rodgers to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And they'll remain 2 scores back as this holds at a 9-point advantage. And that one, just an absolute killer. A chance to get this back within 1 score.
All hope not gone yet. But at the same time, you're exactly right. They needed to get back within 1 score and have a motivated defense take the field in order to get it back for them for one last big drive.
They got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on first down. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. Second and 12, and you'd have to assume another all-out effort to stop the run is coming. That one looks like he'll throw here. He will find his man Chase complete. Now the Steelers going to use their third and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
And they will take a knee here.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, on one side of this, Charles, an impressive victory. On the other, I mean, you think about it, they scored in the first quarter, but then they didn't score in quarters 2, 3, or 4. They're going to have a lot of work to do before stepping back on the field.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting tape to analyze, won't it? Because why did it work in the first quarter, but nothing in quarters 2, 3, and 4? So we always talk about adjustments. You don't just wait till halftime. You do it series to series. They'll be working on that in preparation for their next game.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Bengals as we say so long from Cincinnati.